In a transformation journey, there are two voices we need to pay attention to: the voice of the customer and the system. In this video, we will learn about two types of variations that will help us listen to the voice of the system. Imagine you want to travel from your home to the hospital, and this is something you need to do every day. Your time to reach the hospital depends on the system, which is made out of the driver, the car, road conditions, speed limits, traffic lights, the other cars on the road, and the time it takes in the parking garage. You start measuring the time it takes every day, and you get a certain range. You collect more data in the next week, and despite the day-to-day variation, there is some predictability in the pattern. Every stable system will have certain variations in its outcomes, but these are product of the same system. We call these common cause variations. Common cause variations are something that we don't react to, and we can't really explain why one dot is different than the other, but we know they're a product of the same system. A control chart helps us identify the types of variation visually and easily. In a stable system, the observations will be randomly distributed within control limits, and these are the common cause variations. In the third week, you find some values that seem to be out of range, and you wonder, are you dealing with the same system or is there something new going on in the system? When you plot this data on the control chart, you notice that two observations on Monday and Friday were outside the control limits. Has the system truly changed? Or was there some external factors that influenced the performance of a stable system? You take a moment and recall that on Monday, you overslept, and by the time you were on the road, the traffic was different. And on Friday, there were heavy rains and the roads were not their usual self. This type of variation is not the product of the same stable system. This is a signal. It's a special cause variation and needs investigation. Special cause variation can also manifest when the pattern of distribution is not random anymore. Such patterns signal that the system is not the same anymore and needs to be investigated to know what's causing it. So far we have learned that there are two types of variations: common causes and special causes. Common causes are the ones that are product of a stable system, and you cannot really tease out what is making one value different than the other. Special cause variations are not part of a stable system. These are external factors that influence the system's performance or could be the result of your interventions to improve the system. To make it a special cause, there should be a signal on the control charts and a theory to explain it. Not understanding the difference between these two types of variations can lead to wasteful actions and frustrations. One mistake is when we treat common cause as a special cause, and another mistake would be to treat a special cause as a common cause variation. Let's see an example of mistake 1. This is a control chart of 30-day readmission rate for COPD patients, with the readmission rate on the y-axis and time in months on the x-axis. There is month-to-month variation in the readmission rate. Without knowing what variation we are dealing with, we might just set a goal of 25% and start explaining each data point that comes after. If the data point is below the goal line, we are happy, we celebrate, we give awards, we throw a pizza party. For the months when the readmission rate was higher than the goal, we get stuck trying to find its cause. We blame people or find someone to blame, send a bunch of emails, and get demoralized. The frontline staff wonder, what did they do different this month that the outcomes are so bad? And how can they replicate the outcomes of a good month? Using the right tools and with a good set of eyes, we are able to see that this was a common cause system all along. We wasted efforts to explain each data point, a mistake that should not happen. The second mistake is to treat a special cause and common cause and missing an opportunity to learn and improve. For example, one day a clinic nurse tries a new method of putting the patient in the room. Her method was more efficient and less time consuming for patient and her. However, this was treated as common cause and no one learned from it. An opportunity was missed. In another example, a hospital changed its supplier for central lines. This caused an increase in the rates of central line infections. However, this was not recognized as a special cause variation in a timely manner, and patients continued to suffer. Let's see how we should react to a system that is unstable and has special causes. The question is the special cause in the desirable direction or the undesirable? If it's an undesirable special cause, we need to remove them and find a mitigation strategy to prevent the system from its influence, as they make the system unstable and unpredictable. On the other hand, if the special cause is in the desirable direction, we also need to learn from these and see how we can incorporate this performance in the system. These are the special causes we are hoping to look for when intervening to improve a system. Dealing with stable systems with only common cause variation is different. The question here is, are we satisfied with the performance of the system or not? If yes, then we just ensure the system remains stable without external influence. If not, then we need to redesign the system with a new thinking. In the example of our traveler who is dealing with stable system with common cause variation only, if he expects different results, then he has to change the system. An example would be to leave home 30 minutes earlier when the traffic on the road and the parking lot would be different. Or find a new route to the hospital. In the case of COPD readmissions, since the team was dealing with a stable system delivering suboptimal results, they had to redesign the whole system. Their intervention was a system redesign, which led to the change in the outcome. We function in complex systems where people, technology, and their interactions lead to the outcomes. It is critical for us to recognize what is common cause and what is special cause variation in our processes of the system, so we can make thoughtful decisions and react appropriately. So next time when you are sitting in a meeting or looking at a data point, think, is this common cause or special cause that I am dealing with?